pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'm calling about his car warranty.
Meredith County Benevolent Shopkeeper.
You gotta be kidding me. Hey Russ, it's Patty, it is 7:01, we're calling you. I talked to him, I don't know, about 3-4 this afternoon, and he said he'd be available.
He's on California side, name 70 out there.
3-7-1-1-3-7. Yeah, that's what I got, that's what I called about today. Well, that's what I called, we'll see if he called back. Yeah, that's the number. Okay, roll call. We'll wait and see if he calls back. Gary?
Yep.
Dennis?
Here.
Debbie? Here. Visitors?
Hello, Peter.
You have any visitors?
Meeting attendance by
David
phone.
Zimmerman.
Sure. You had called me about your fencing. I went down there and looked at it, and I do believe you're gonna have to move that. Because that is right in the ditch area. And I don't know what kind of compromise we could possibly even do with that one.
Now you're talking about the
On
section
Marsh.
of Marsh Road there from the
Yep.
stop sign down to
Yeah,
that driveway.
yeah, whatever fencing's in the ditch.
Two-way speaker.
But is it hurting anything?
Well, you can't push the snow back, you can't mow it decent. And yeah, it is, according to our ordinances, it's right in our right of way. Can you hear everybody, Russ?
Yes, I can.
Okay,
Because they did mow, they mowed right after I heard about the complaint.
uh-huh.
The day after he mowed,
Yeah, but he can't get down far enough, and pushing the snow back, I think, is an issue. Because what is that, Gary, maybe 5 feet off the road, not even,
Yeah,
it's
it's
right in,
right in the ditch.
yeah.
But actually, you got it on both Sugar Bush and Marsh. It's in there, you own that whole stretch in there,
Right.
correct? And it's in the ditch on both of them.
And I know I had called the county, and they said that they made you move it when they went and redid County Trunk E, that you had to move it back.
the only reason I had to move it then is because of the road
Mm-hmm,
being put in.
mm-hmm,
I didn't really move it, I just rebuilt it,
yeah,
you know.
but yeah, it's gonna have to be moved, definitely.
Moving
Sorry
on.
to say, but just kind of the way it is, it's right there.
I'm gonna have to just chainsaw in half then.
Mhm.
you know.
Whatever you need to do, because he's gotta be able to push snow back, and right now, he can't,
I mean,
to make it wide enough.
well, then, it hasn't been a problem the last 2 years.
Well, actually it has, but we just finally got a complaint for it, so.
If that's a 4-hour road, the right of way is 33 feet in from the center. So you gotta be in beyond that.
So, does that have to be moved before winter? Because my back is bad and I don't know when I'm gonna have a chance to do it.
Well, yeah, we'd like it moved before then. I think 2 months ago, they were gonna give you,
I guess I'll just have to take it section by section and, you know.
Okay, anybody else? Mr. Larry?
Larry C. for him. What is it now? 1136660 Elm Tree Road. I've got a donation from the Little Rose Riders Snowmobile Club for the Millis Fire Department for the post that was donated to us
Okay,
for $100.
thank you.
Presented to us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
There's- Thank you for the posts.
Thank them back,
Huh?
thank them back.
Yeah, definitely thank the Snowmobile Club
Yep.
for us. Steve, actually.
Eventually you'll come to it. Thank you, sir.
You wanna go back and approve the meeting back? Oh, let's approve the meeting attendance by phone. Need a motion? I'll make a motion to approve the meeting attendance by phone.
Second.
All in favor?
Well, I guess I'd like to discuss this
Okay.
as to the need. I mean, I know at the state level, they just agreed to do it for one of the guys, but he's got a disability.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think, like the city or anywhere else, they're not there, they're just not there.
I asked the attorney about it, and he said yes, they can have any of them by phone.
Well, I'm not saying whether it's legal or not legal.
Mhm.
It's just, I guess I personally don't, if they're not here, I just don't think it should be done.
Oh, okay. Vote, Patty? Gary?
He's got a question there.
Yeah?
If one person is allowed to call by phone, shouldn't all people be allowed to call by phone?
Any of the supervisors can? Yes.
But wouldn't the public be able to, wouldn't you be precluding
No.
the public from,
No. Not to my knowledge, anyway.
it seems like it, if only the supervisors are allowed to call in to the meeting,
Mhm.
then
I
that's.
have to check on that one, because
Okay,
I've never heard of that. I asked the attorney about any supervisors that were absent, if they could call in and be, present by phone, and he said yes, most definitely.
Okay.
He said that's not an issue.
I would imagine that it wouldn't be an issue as long as the public could also do the same thing, but I don't know.
I don't know what the laws are in the
Sure.
public.
Yeah, you know.
Vote. Gary?
No.
Dennis? Debbie?
Yes.
Russ?
Russ, are you voting?
I'm sorry,
Are you voting on that one?
am I, oh, I don't go, do I get to vote on it? I think I have to abstain, don't I?
Okay. Okay, approval of town board meetings, August 27th. I'll make a motion to approve minutes as presented.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? Patty?
Gary?
I,
Dennis?
Aye.
Debbie?
Aye.
Russ?
Russ, you're voting on the August 27 minutes. I wonder if he can hear us.
he's probably sleeping.
Russ?
Yes,
Yeah. Is that a vote?
no, I'm having a hard time hearing what's going on, but,
Okay, for the minutes for August 27th,
oh, okay. Yeah, I know what I'd really like to do is just vote on the rezone and the rest stop.
Okay.
I'm having a hard time hearing things,
All right.
I just feel uncomfortable voting, not knowing completely what's all going on.
Okay. That's fine.
Okay, thank you.
Approval of town board minutes for September 9th, 2019. Can I get a motion?
I'll make the motion approval.
Second? Patty?
Gary?
I,
Dennis?
Aye.
Debbie?
Aye. Reports, plan commission, Dorothy?
At our last meeting, we approved the rezone for Seahafer and Ziggerlicky, and then after that, then we had to go ahead and we had to approve the CSM. That's according to the county, the rezone comes first, CSM is second, And then the other two CSMs that we wished we had had some representation there to let the plan commission know what people were thinking, because when the maps came, it wasn't clear to the board, and a lot of discussion went back and forth, and we tabled them until next month, until we could request that the property owners come and speak with us. That's the end of our meeting.
Okay. Fire department, Rod?
What? Yes. I can get another copy of it. Since our last normal board meeting, we had 3 EMS calls, 2 motor vehicle accidents, 1 mutual aid. I have no new rehires for this last month.
It's, oh. I'm looking.
Okay,
Now I'm listening.
okay, I'll start over then.
No, I heard you.
Okay. Classes, I still have 1 member in driver operator, that's an ongoing class. Other things that were going on in the department for the last 30 days. The DNR grant was awarded to us from the Wildland Fire Personnel Protective Equipment, and 4 radios, that was approved. Tonight you're gonna be going through and approving more, but the last of it, but it was approved that we could get that from the DNR. We're also working with Mullins on possibly burning their house that they have that's north of the plant on Stad.
Did you get that agreement squared away?
Not yet, that's what we're working on.
Okay.
To kind of bring up the board a little bit, I kind of looked at it, didn't really like the way that it was worded. I showed it to Deb. Deb said go to the insurance company. I kind of had him look at it. He doesn't like it either. So I'm going to take it back to him. And basically, there's a shed or a garage that is roughly 20 to 30 feet away from the building. And the way that it's worded is we're solely responsible for that building. Any damages happen during the fire, we're responsible for it. In that, I mean, and I understand why they're so protective of that building. Inside that shed is their controls for all of their wells. Freshwater wells for the water going into the plant. If that building gets destroyed, so does that equipment, and without that, there's no water going into the plant. So obviously, it's a big deal with them. So I have to work with them on that.
Yeah, well, we don't want paper in the building.
Exactly. So that's kind of why we're talking
Yeah,
back and forth. Nothing major, it's just the thing. So it may or may not happen. In the last 30 days, there was also the pump test on engine 10 and ladder 1 were done. They both passed, but they're going to need some valve work done. We're hoping to do that in-house.
Okay.
So it shouldn't be a lot of cost. The valves are between like $45 and $100 for the kits to rebuild them. And then it'll probably take the guys probably 2 to 3 hours to rebuild each valve. By the time you get in there and get them apart and get them put back together. Training for the last month, we did basically a dry run of a fire call scene from page out to the completion of the call. We ended up doing that over at the town garage. We smoked it up with artificial smoke. And EMS, Lori's working on getting a refresher for the EMRs and EMTs for the membership. They have to do that every 2 years, and they're planning a joint training with the fire department. Because not all of our members are EMTs or first responders, so periodically we bring them together so they all work together.
Anybody have any questions for Rob? Okay, thank you.
Did you email us one, or?
I got
printed
it.
it and I left it in the office.
Oh,
And I don't have all of your emails
I
yet,
haven't
so.
been on my computer all day.
Okay, for library, there wasn't anything. For garbage and recycling, I haven't heard anything. Have you, Patty? Okay. Highway, Mr. Gary?
Well, they did get the culvert put in on Birch, and the culvert put in on Gilead Court, and looks like they have that ground up and rolled. I imagine they were supposed to do it on the 10th, but of course we kept getting rain, so I guess they're behind. And it looks like the gravel's all laid there, and they rolled it, so I'm assuming they'll be putting blacktop on it. Now, I did tried by Ruby, and that culvert hasn't been replaced, or the one on Man. I didn't know, okay.
Did you get your culvert, that list done yet?
Well, partially, we found out, and I was told wrong, I was told anything on a county road
Mm-hmm.
is their responsibility, and it's not. The culverts are ours, the stop signs are theirs. So we didn't do any
Do
on the
those?
county roads, so
Okay,
I don't know when I don't know, Paul was gone, I know I tried calling him for something else, because I wanted to get together and go over, when we gotta change all the stuff on the Whistler that's wrong,
mm-hmm.
and mail that in. I just been busy.
Yeah. Okay, buildings and grounds, we're gonna, we have a rental for, what is it, the 19th?
Yes.
So we'll be shutting the water and everything off for the pavilion right after that. Clerk report, Patty.
I got four zoning permits, 2 sanitary permits, and then the rest of the notifications you have in on your agenda. The culvert cost share reimbursement for the flood damage on Galvin and Drake was submitted, and the culvert cost share application for Old Plain for 2020 was submitted. Got the permit to the contractor for Gilead Court culvert project. Went to an MLS grant webinar and submitted the patient report. There's 2 city annexations. One was from the beginning of August, that's on the Lang property, that little triangle between Peach and 97 and E. Total of 9.43 acres. There's also a road right away on North Hume Avenue that was done, and that was a previous annexation, but in that previous documentation, they left out the right of way. Steve and I went to Transcendent Software training for the tax rate worksheets and the special assessments. There's another training that we're going to in November for receiving and reporting. All of the tax software this year is gonna be online, so we need to do something with the internet in the town hall. Been doing election training, and that'll continue. Everybody should have already found out that the governor rescinded the call for the special election in January, which means we're not having a primary in December. They're waiting on updated dates. I contacted all the election inspectors because their reappointments are up in December. Of the 7, I've confirmed 5. And then we're gonna talk about an election grant later on. Fall Fest, I think, after meeting with Carolyn last week, the revenue and expenses, with the inclusion of the checklist from tonight, we should be done with that. I've had 3 open records requests. 1 has been satisfied, 1, I'm still gathering information, and the last one should be finished tonight with the checklist. Steve and I and Debbie worked on reconciling some of the accounts in QuickBooks. There's still some reallocations that need to be made, and hopefully I'll have those done before Wednesday's meeting. And I updated the town association roster, so everybody should have access to the online logins, and got the information updated on the website with the clerk's office, the treasurer's office, and CPZ.
That was a mouthful.
There you go.
Any questions? Treasurer's report, Mr. Steve.
Want me to read it or what?
No. Does anybody have any questions on the financial report for the treasurer?
Just a note, I did actually sign the original. It's just not signed in the packet.
Okay, we need a motion to approve the financial for the treasurer. Second,
So that,
all in favor? Aye.
I,
Go to the next slide.
Unfinished business, approve renewal of Public Works Stockbridge Project CD. When does that do, Patty? I know it's wrote on here, isn't it?
16.
Or Steve, I'm sorry.
16.
Yeah. We're just gonna roll that over?
Yeah, I would say that's just.
It's an automatic renewal.
What kind of term are we looking for? In other words, when do we really need the cash?
We shouldn't need it till 2021.
Really?
Well, that's when they're gonna do the bridge, isn't it?
Well, I don't know.
It depends, well, we're working on the engineering right now. So whenever they get done with that, then they'll figure out when they're gonna actually build the bridge, so. Is there any difference in interest between 6 months or a year?
Well, probably, yeah. From everything I've been reading, rates are gonna be supposed to be going down, so maybe it's time to lock in for a year.
When's the bridge, when does the engineering do though? 'Cause it
Well,
wasn't-
that's not even with, the engineering we got out of there already,
Okay.
or it was budgeted or whatever, so that part of it is okay. So we're looking at payment of the bridge, actually,
Okay.
so, and they aren't even close to, I would say, a year.
Or we could do 3 months now and a year when that matures.
Mhm. I know we'd be safe for at least, how long is it gonna take them to build a bridge? We're gonna be safe for at least 6 months for sure. Cause they aren't, I mean, we got winter coming, they aren't gonna do anything now.
Oh, no. Well, that's what I said, I would figure we could do it for a year.
I would think so.
And even if we didn't, I guess a little bit that they pay if something happens, you gotta take it out your.
Mhm. Well, the only thing is, you lose the interest for a year. Am I correct?
Yeah. Could
Yeah.
A
very
year
well
or
be.
3 months.
I
I
would think it
believe
would be
it's-
3 months.
I think it's
3
3
months?
months.
Okay. They,
That's normally what they are.
okay. Well, then, we need a motion.
I'll make the motion to renew it for a year.
I'll second that. All in favor? Aye. Checks to approve.
You have checks 16658 through 16750, including electronic fund transfers 2019-9 through 2019-13. It also included 3 voided checks because I printed something on checks that I shouldn't have. 16748 through 16750, and the total is $110,704.32.
I'll make a motion to approve checks as presented. Uh-huh. Any questions on any of the checks? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Then we have to approve Patty's financial report also. I'll make a motion to approve the financial report from the clerk.
I'll second that.
All in favor? Aye. Okay, next item. Okay, fuel tank and pump bids. I think we got one. Make an offer of $350 on the fuel barrel and pump. Clarence Ortel. The only one we got.
You got?
The only one.
There were 2 other people that asked about it.
I know, but that's the only one we got. So you need a motion to approve and accept.
I'll make the motion to accept the bid, $300 from
$350.
$350. Clarence.
Yeah, get it right, $350. I'll second that. All in favor? Aye.
I'll call him and tell him we could've got it for $100. Just to make him feel.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Okay, we're on the CSMs, for Gus Wenzel. that was one of them that the plan commission did not agree to, or did not pass, I should say. I called Becky up at the county, and I've also got a letter from Tim Breland. He couldn't make it tonight because he went to a Packer game. And he said the Wendell survey is an adjustment of the property, or Wenzel survey is the adjustment of the property line. Manthe is a land split. Both comply with zoning, and Becky said the same thing. And then the Ziegler-Lickey CA for CSM is an adjustment of the property line, and the only rezoning is 0.7 acres. So there's absolutely no problem with the county. So on Wenzel's, I'm gonna make a motion to approve. Can I get a second?
I'll make that second.
Okay, discussion?
I know last month they sent two of them back to they sent one back to the planning commission, because it should go through the planning commission before it comes to the board.
Mm-hmm, which it did. The CSMs are a courtesy, that's all they are. And as long as they comply with our comprehensive plan, we're fine. The rezoning, we have to take closer looks at. The Peterson one is the one that came back, that rezone, and I just got a letter from him today, and that's about as long as my arm on what he's gonna have to do to possibly rezone.
Well, and that's why I didn't want to get into another situation without the planning, going through the planning commission first, so that they could check it out and make sure that
It does comply.
there aren't any problems.
Yeah. As far as the comprehensive plan, it does all comply, am I correct?
I just sat there and spent 2.5 hours reading our comprehensive plan, which is outdated.
Yep, we know that. And that's what Katie is typing up with the new changes. So,
What new changes?
they made those, how many years ago? 3? But they have not been board approved yet, so we have to go by what we have.
Because ours are back from like 97, 98, and then 2005. They're supposed to be updated every 10 years, and annually, there's things are supposed to be done with them.
Yeah, I know, and they did go through the changes, and I believe that was, it's gotta be like 3 years ago, wasn't it, Patty? When John Poppy
was still here, Poppy.
Yeah, and they did update it all, but it never got typed up. That was the problem, and that's what Katie is working on right now, so,
John started it, Poppy.
yeah. So, whatever changes they have in there, I don't know, but they haven't been board approved yet either, and I'm sure that probably have to go through the county. But as they stand right now, according to Becky, she said everything is good with our comprehensive plan and with county zoning. So you want to vote? Patty? Gary?
Okay.
Dennis?
You cast it.
Debbie? Aye. And then on the Dennis Manthe property, Russ, are you awake?
Yep,
I'll go
I'm
on
going.
record. I'll go on record abstaining on that.
I don't know your discussion.
Okay, Manthe's the same situation, but we also have a paper from the county that they have already approved this and signed off on it. And that one is right here. So they've already signed off, which means that it has already passed through the county. So it's a formality for us to do this. So we need a motion to approve.
Well, I guess I'll make the motion if it's already done.
Yes, it is. It's right here. It's all signed. 9-3 they did. I'll second. Gary?
Yes.
Debbie?
Yes.
Russ?
Russ?
Yes,
And then on the Seahaver one, the CSM, need a motion to approve, or the rezone?
No, CSM first.
Oh, the CSM first, okay. Oh, yeah, it's listed under the CSM. So the Seahaver, CSM, motion to approve,
I'll make that motion.
second? Any discussion? Patty?
Gary,
Yes.
Dennis,
Yes.
Debbie,
Yes.
Russ,
Yes,
And the rezone for Seafer, that would be the 0.7 acres. Need a motion to approve.
I'll make that motion.
Gary, second.
Second.
Dennis? Any discussion?
Gary,
Yes.
Dennis,
Yes.
Debbie,
Yes.
Russ?
yes.
Okay, now we're on grants.
Russ, do you want to keep on or do you want to?
You can cut out now.
Yep, I'll get out now.
Okay, thanks, thank you.
Yeah, I think.
Lots and lots of Packers.
See you then. Thank you.
Okay, grants, fire department, what do you got?
Basically, we last July, we applied for the DNR grant, and we put in for $1,027.25 worth of personal protective equipment, more or less the gear that the guys wear. We put in for $27 for fittings, and then we put in roughly $6,000 for radios. And we were granted for all of that, which brings it up to 7 something for a total grant. And the township's portion of that is $3,557.19.
Okay, so we need to accept the grant, am I correct?
Yes,
3,057.
3,557.15, am I correct?
19.
19. So what that is a 50/50.
Yes.
Okay. I'll make a motion to approve the grant as presented, or accept it, I should say.
Second.
Discussion? Anything?
Gary,
Aye.
Dennis,
Aye.
Debbie,
Aye. Highway Department, we want to apply for that MLS grant.
Just one thing, Deb, did
Oh.
you want to sign that, or do I sign that?
I do.
Okay. After the meeting, I'll do that.
Okay. So we need approval to apply for that grant,
That's for,
the MLS. That's at 90/10.
yeah. I'll make that motion to apply for that. Yeah.
Dennis, got a second?
Second.
Patty?
So we are gonna send in for both them?
what are you gonna apply for?
Man, for sure. And what other did you want?
Well, we talked about maybe asking for stat, is it, cause you can put up to 3 of them.
You can put as many as you want in,
I thought it was up to 3.
according to that
Well,
seminar.
it depends on whether you read the paper or you go to the training.
Yeah,
If you read the instructions, it says 3. If you go to the training, it says you can have as many as you want, you just have to bundle them.
yes.
And I talked to Pat, and Pat suggested Man, and then Galvin, and Stott, because there's a sunset clause in the funding. So it can go out 6 years from date of approval, so you could actually finish Stott after they finish the bridge, if
Well,
it's
that-
approved.
Right.
Right, that was my thought. I think you have up to, not, if I remember right, you have up to 6 years.
Yeah, you do. It can't be anything that's already been bid on. You know, nothing qualifies for that, like Drake would not qualify for that at all. And then I also called the city for a letter of, a letter of what? Patty?
Letter of support from
Yeah.
Man.
Yep, and they said they would definitely write us a letter so we could submit that with the grant. So, did you find me a grant writer yet?
No.
Any suggestions?
He was supposed to get back to me from Kevin Kraft from American Asphalt when I talked to him. I asked him if he knew any.
I know he has one.
And, yeah, he had some guy's name, but he didn't have nothing else.
And he's from Point, I think he is.
And I was out where I didn't have any paper or anything,
Mhm.
and he was gonna get back to me, and
And Jim Griesbach, I asked him about it, and he gave me a gal's number, and she hasn't gotten back to me yet, but I'll try calling her again, so.
Keep in mind, that is not money that you get reimbursed for.
Right, so for the grant writing, we just need to pay for it, and that's it, regardless if it's accepted or not. So, that we can't include.
Correct.
So, what do you all want to apply for? 3 roads, 2 roads?
Where does he wanna do Galvin?
From
Elm to see.
Elba
Elm
to
to
C.
see?
Yeah.
I guess we can, but, you know, those two would have been my 2 picks.
That's, yeah, that, I figured man is the top priority.
Because once that bridge gets replaced, I'm sure, and especially with, you know, the no trucks,
Mhm.
trying to keep them off of Galvin, I'm sure that man is gonna get utilized before everybody's gonna run around on 97, so.
Well, we're gonna have a mess this next year, I think it is, when they start redoing 97. That's gonna be a real dandy. So which ones we applying for, Gary? You want Man
Yep,
and Stott?
yep, that would be my first,
And you
they'll
wanna
pick
go
what
for
they
the
pick,
third
but
one?
but them would be my first 2.
Yeah, you wanna go for Galvin also, or no?
Yeah, me as well.
You have to prioritize them.
Yep, in
Well,
what order,
That's
so?
why I said Manstad and Galvin.
Okay. So 1, 2, 3. Hope we don't get them all. We going to the bank
Hey, at that price,
at 90-10, I know.
at that price, I would go to the bank.
Yeah, exactly. Election grant, Patty.
Gary,
Oh. We're voting
Yeah.
on the
Aye.
motion.
Dennis,
Aye.
Debbie,
Aye. Sorry. Election grant.
the election grant is a grant to comply with the new security measures that have to be in place by January 28th. It's a $1,200 grant, and I'm gonna go for the max. You can get computers and software and IT to set up, so we're all in compliance. Just need board approval to apply.
I make the motion to apply for that grant, to approve the application.
Second.
Any discussion? Patty?
Gary,
Aye.
Dennis,
Aye.
Debbie,
Aye. And then we have the Wood County Winter Maintenance Agreement, which is right here. And that, this we do every year, am I correct?
you do it every year. They send a standard form out. The first option is to have Wood County plow your roads. The second option is to have them do nothing. And the third option is to buy salt from
and
them.
sand is
We just
decided.
need to check that we're gonna buy the sand and you're agreeing to pay the invoice when you get it, and sheriff signs it.
I'll make the motion to accept the third option.
I'll second that. Sorry, again, I'm wondering what it was, because I don't ever remember.
Yeah, we've done this every year. Do that, we can have Wood County plow our roads. Get your checkbook out.
Yeah.
And your snow wheels.
Yeah. Patty?
Gary,
I,
Dennis,
Aye.
Debbie,
Aye. Need a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
And we are adjourned.